Matt Campbell is building something special at Penn State, and a transfer offensive lineman gives us an inside look.
You are Locked On Nittany Lions, your daily podcast on the Penn State Nittany Lions. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
That is right. You are locked on to Penn State football. And as always, thank you so much for making Locked On Nittany Lions a part of your day. My name is Zach Seyko, and I am your host of the show, credentialed media member for both Penn State football and Penn State wrestling, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, the number one sports podcasting network out there. On today's show, this is an exclusive interview with Penn State transfer offensive lineman Hunter Albright, who hails from Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania, right in the heart of central Pennsylvania. We're going to hear from Hunter about a variety of different topics: who he is as a football player, what it means to represent his hometown, what it means to represent central Pennsylvania, and make a lasting impact as a player at Penn State. First and foremost, though, we're going to get his thoughts on why this was such an easy commitment for him. He got the offer and he committed almost immediately. We're going to get his perspective on that, plus what Matt Campbell is building, what Ryan Clanton, his offensive line coach, is building at Penn State, and why it is so special. Here is that exclusive interview with Hunter Albright. And it is a privilege to be joined by Penn State transfer offensive lineman Hunter Albright. He hails from Hollidaysburg, Pennsylvania, so it is close. He is the hometown guy here coming to Penn State, and we're going to talk about everything that went into this commitment. But starting, Hunter, really appreciate the time here. I want to start with why this was such an easy decision for you, because it was pretty quick turnaround between you receiving the offer to play at Penn State and then committing to Penn State. So why was this such an easy decision to join Matt Campbell and your offensive line coach, Ryan Clanton?
I mean, from the day I started playing, like, since I knew what football was, since I started playing, since I started getting into, I always knew from the jump I wanted to come play for Penn State. Like, whole family's fans, like all my friends growing up, like teachers, coaches, everyone's massive Penn State fans. Like, my very first recruiting thing I ever did was go to the Penn State camps they have every summer with my high school coach and a couple of my teammates. And I had a PWO out of high school here. Mm-hmm. Then I couldn't afford it financially at the time. Then, I didn't have the best season at St. Francis. Them transitioning to D3, I had to hit the portal no matter what. And I honestly wasn't that happy with most of the offers I got. Like, I still got some good ones, don't get me wrong. And I was all those were blessings. But it was just the second I heard Penn State was going to give me a second chance, I jumped on it. Whether it be walk-on or all the bells and whistles, scholarship, everything. No matter what, I knew I couldn't turn it down a second time.
So like you said, being close to Penn State, having your family, your friends always invested in Penn State in some sort of way, but you're still committing to these coaches, right? Matt Campbell, what he's doing. Ryan Clanton has a vision for the offensive line room. Talk about what, without giving too much away, of course. But the conversations that you've had with Coach Campbell and Coach Clanton to say, okay, I trust them. I trust to be able to play for them, to work with them for the next 4 years, that they're going to have my best interest and the program's best interest overall. What's been so appealing about their message early on?
It's honestly like they're straight cut and dry. They don't try to be flashy or anything. They tell you exactly what their plans are with the team. Like, obviously, we want to go win a natty. Like, that's, I don't even have to say that. They're cut and dry, to the point, what they want, how we're going to do it, what we're going to change. And if you can't abide by that, then move on, pretty much. Like, we're here to win. We aren't here to play around, be flashy. It's just everything's all go right now. A lot of the conversations I have is the same thing. Like, everyone's very personable. Like, all the coaches are cool. Like, we have relationships outside of the facility. And I've loved every second of it so far. I haven't had a single complaint or a single negative thing to say about anyone on the team, whether that be players, staff, coaches, trainers, just people popping in and out. I've loved every single person so far.
And it goes along with, hey, how quickly it's very telling that you committed to Penn State and committed for your transfer a couple weeks ago, a few weeks ago, and you're already settled in and saying, hey, everything's all the boxes are being checked off.
I committed
right
on the phone call I got it actually.
No, and that's fantastic here. It's like when you know kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And Campbell and Clanton specifically, of course, because he's going to be your positional coach, kind of reaffirming all of that instantly, what you knew was going to be right in the moment for your future. Let's expand on. Go ahead.
They like Coach Clanton, for example. He's straight up like, we're gonna kick some people's asses. That's what he wants. He wants to get like the nastiest offensive line in Power 4. That's what he wants out of us, and we're working for it right now. Our workouts have already started. We're getting after it. We're ready to go. It's gonna be a great season.
And talk more about that. There's the sentimental aspect of Penn State. You already mentioned that the blueprint is to get to and win a national championship, and of course, that's something that any player is going to want to be a part of because that's greatness. Penn State hasn't been hasn't been in that national title conversation, or they've been in the conversation, but what I'm getting at is they haven't won a title since the 80s. And hey, it's debatable in the 90s as well, right? But separate conversation. So to be asked to be a part of that, talk about what ideals, the way that the coaches operate and the program is operating, that you're led to believe that, okay, they're on the right track. We can actually do something like this and achieve something like this. What have you seen so far?
The biggest thing for me, well, coming from St. Francis, like us transitioning to D3, it was kind of a really hard situation to get my feet down and everything, get settled, because there was so much worry of knowing I was going to have to hit the portal. But since the day I got here and met the coaches, I can tell like the culture alone is like, these guys know how to win and they're going to do it. Nothing's going to stop them. Like you can feel that in every meeting, every conversation, every workout, hell, like recovery sessions. Like we are like, no one's here to play games. They're here to win. Like every single aspect of everything I felt from the football side, everyone wants to win. And even like academics too, like no one plays around with that either. Like everyone's being held accountable. We're here to get a degree, not just play football.
Tell me more about Coach Clanton specifically. Like you said, he's tough. He wants to have Penn State's offensive line be the most physical, dominating offensive line in the entire country, and there's nothing short that they're going to settle for. What's it been like to be around him, be around some of the other assistant coaches that are going to be a real focal point when it comes to the offensive line room?
I mean, he's awesome. Like he's very, very personal with us. He treats us like we're family. His assistant coach, Coach JSB, he's awesome. I meet with him almost every day, going over meetings, or not meetings, film, like run scheme, pass scheme, nutrition. Like he's checked every single box for us, taking care of us in every aspect we need to be the best we can. It's just like they're laying everything out on the table for us to be the best we can be, and it's pretty much our choice to take it.
And let's go into some of that again, with what you're able and willing to share just about your development. Okay. So you have your technique that you want to work on. You have things that you're already really skilled at, maybe some things that you absolutely want to work on. What's been the priority for you since getting to Penn State? Goals, short-term goals that you've had, and then long-term goals that you've identified, whether it's specifically football related or academic related, career long-term. What's kind of been in front of you so far in the first few weeks? Still to come on this episode, we're going to talk to Hunter about his short-term and his long-term goals at Penn State and what he is primarily focusing on now that he's on campus. That is coming up next here on Locked On Nittany Lions. And today's show is brought to you by FanDuel. The college football playoff is here, and FanDuel is giving all customers even more ways to get in on the action every single game day of the playoffs, because right now, every college football playoff game day, FanDuel users get a profit boost waiting for them in the app. And here's what you're going to love about it. You get to use this profit boost on the bets you already feel good about. Ride with the favorite when you think a team controls the matchup. Take a shot on an underdog if you feel like an upset is coming, or build a parlay around the players and moments you think will decide the game. Then you apply the profit boost and go after even bigger winnings. And when you win, FanDuel pays out instantly, which is perfect for playoff football. FanDuel is the best place to get into the action all playoff long. So visit FanDuel.com or the FanDuel app to get your college football playoff profit boosts every single game day. And once again, thank you so much for making Locked On Nittany Lions your first listen and watch every single day. And thank you for making the Locked On Podcast Network the #1 sports podcasting network out there. If you haven't already, go check out the all-new Everydayer Club. What is the Everydayer Club? You get more access to this show. You will get an ad-free audio feed for Locked On Nittany Lions, which is compatible with Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and every other major podcasting app. You will also get an invite to a members-only Locked On Everydayer Club Discord server, which includes a group chat just for listeners of this show. You can go to lockedonnittanylions.supercast.com or tap the link down in the show notes to learn more.
One of the big things for me is definitely like academics being a priority now, since I plan on finishing my college career, so I don't have to worry about transferring, none of that. Because I want to go into kinesiology and get into like strength and conditioning. So, and they have amazing programs here. I'll have amazing connections from playing for the team. That's amazing. Sorry, what was the question again?
Just your short-term, long-term goals.
Short-term. That's a long-term goal.
Yeah.
But like another thing, just improving athleticism, bigger, faster, stronger. Like we have all of the the amount of like testing and nutrition we get. So like we can see our body fat percentages, all that. Like our cardiac health, everything they're giving us. I've never had any of this in my football career in my life before. That like the recovery tools we have, like I've never felt this healthy in my career. And it's such a blessing to have all this at my hands, and that they're willing to bless me with an opportunity to receive it all. And all I got to do in return is just work my ass off and prove myself.
The advantages that Penn State has as a university, and of course, that's why you've always been through high school, wanting that opportunity at Penn State when it was the right time. And now you're in this situation, you see, it's like, I knew this all along. I wanted to be at this spot because, and now you see those tangible elements that, okay, I heard about these things, or I've seen, Penn State's a great university, but what actually makes it, and it's starting to unfold all in front of you. I want to know about the football technique in particular. Your player profile coming in at 6'5". I hope I have 310 pounds right. I mean, that's you come in.
I'm a lot more now. I'm around like 6'5", 6'6", 340 currently.
340. So okay, I don't have the correct measurements.
They've been packing the muscle on me
that quickly.
Well, over the course of St. Francis, like their season ending, me just lifting, getting as big and strong as I can, and now I have the proper nutrition and everything. Like I can't wait to see what I can do.
So let's discuss that real quick. The balance between making sure that you're a wall, that you aren't going to get pushed around, that you're able to physically impose your will on a defensive lineman, and then climb to the second level for a linebacker, that kind of thing, where it's not going to be fair. 340 pounds running at you as a 40-pound linebacker. Good luck. But I want to know from your perspective, because offensive linemen and tight ends have to. I mean, any player has to balance this. Adding size for the sake of not just adding size. Okay. So 340 pounds sounds great to probably a lot of other people that are listening to this podcast or watching it, but you also don't want to add too much size because then it takes away from your athleticism. How have you been balancing that, and what's kind of been the game plan there with everybody else supporting you?
It's honestly just been like the overall nutrition, sleeping right, eating right, and putting everything I absolutely can in these workouts. Because I mean, as long as I do all those three things, like I can keep my weight balanced. Like I'm a very fluctuating weight kind of guy. Like my weight goes up and down a lot. So I mean, now that I have the proper nutrition and everything, that's not a problem. I can finally start working at maintaining my weight, getting my body fat percentage lower, keeping my strength, getting more explosive, better conditioning. Like all the tools they're giving me, I have no limits now.
And then, so you would say, while adding that size or having that size and maintaining it too, you've seen your athleticism get better. You've seen yourself.
Oh, yes. I mean, we've only been through a couple workouts, but
right.
From just eating properly, proper sleep, proper recovery, I feel amazing in these workouts. Like, don't get sore too often, and even if I do, I have every tool I could possibly ever need. Just the thing is too, you have to really watch, like, you're putting on good weight, you're eating the right things, because if you're not doing the extra steps, what's the point? You're just getting fat for no reason.
Talk a little bit about the technique aspect of it, because we're focusing on, and I know it's winter workouts and everything. Spring football will be on the horizon, and then you go into fall camp and everything. And that's where, but you get better in the off season, and eventually you're going to, while you're maintaining your athleticism and focusing on your diet and all the nutritional aspects of it, that the technique, if you're neglecting it, that will be an uphill battle if you're not, and I know you're going to focus on it. I know the team's going to focus on it. So kind of what's already been laid out as far as a blueprint for that? Is it footwork? Is it hand placement? Is it what aspects of the technique do you think that you were taken care of at St. Francis, that you took care of and said, hey, I'm really good at this. I'm good at my first step. I'm good at my punch. I'm good at my drive blocking. And is there something that you address with Coach Clanton, or something that a goal that you had in mind? Hey, I want to be a better pass blocker, or I want to be someone that's better, when it comes to polling on running plays. What are just some examples of that?
I feel like just for me, I feel like I was pretty well-rounded, but at my last school, I played both tackles. So I'm more of an interior guy here, like center guard, either side. So my thing is just overall, I want to improve my power and everything, because high school, obviously, and FCS ball, that wasn't a problem. But now I'm getting up to Power 4. I need to be on the top of my game. Just improving overall athleticism, obviously body fat percentage and overall health. Just so I don't have to worry about getting dinged up as much. Explosiveness, power, just mainly those things. I feel and hands too. That's a big thing for me too. Especially dealing with little injuries, or I sometimes would lean into those a little bit at my past school, favor certain hand strikes or certain techniques compared to what I need to properly do.
And you mentioned it, going from St. Francis was at the FCS level. So anybody that may get that confused and say, well, if for those who don't know, Hunter is coming over from St. Francis. That was over in Ebensburg in Pennsylvania, so still local. And they are actually transitioning to Division III. So he was still a Division I offensive lineman, now moving to Penn State, but the school's transitioning to a different league here. Just for but the competition is still. I don't necessarily want to describe.
Oh yeah, there were some really good guys. Don't get me wrong. We had some animals on our team, and our league had some absolute freaks. Their FCS ball is no drop off from. It's still D1.
What are the subtle things? And I think you've kind of messaged. You've already kind of described them throughout the podcast here. But what are some of the subtle, whether nuances, the way that your teammates conduct themselves? You already kind of talked about the facilities and the resources that you have at your disposal in comparison to St. Francis. Just what have you noticed that you said, hey, this is the biggest difference from when I was training, when I was talking, when I was in meetings between St. Francis to now at Penn State?
Well, obviously, I already said the facilities and everything that they're offering me to help me grow as an athlete and as a player. That's all amazing. The education, St. Francis was great academically. I loved my classes there. Nothing wrong with that. I just feel like how much they put into football here, and just the whole school is Penn State is known for they're known for football. That's what Penn State is. That's what they've always been. This is a State College. This is a football town. This on game days, who else is doing anything but being at the game, or at least watching it? Everyone is invested that. Like I said, when I walked in the building, I could you could almost feel the culture. And not just that, around town, walking around, everything. It's just everyone is here for the football team. No one is bashing us. They all want us to win and succeed. And I feel that's probably the biggest thing here. Because St. Francis, we had great support and all, but it's just that's not what St. Francis is known for. they're like St. Francis, like they're very big for like nursing. Mainly their academics. They're a very good academic school, but they're mainly known for like nursing programs and stuff of that sort. But here it's just like I don't even know. It's just insane. The culture.
Still to come on this episode, we're going to talk to Hunter more about who he is as a football player, what Penn State fans should expect from him on the gridiron, what it means to be an ambassador for his hometown, for Central Pennsylvania. That is coming up next here on Locked On Nittany Lions. Today's episode is brought to you by TurboTax. Tax season doesn't have to take over your life. This year, TurboTax is making it easier than ever just to hand things off and move on with your day. With TurboTax Full Service, you can have your taxes done for you by a trusted local expert, start to finish, without the stress or the guesswork. Instead of spending hours trying to figure out forms, you can meet with a local TurboTax expert in person or connected online to handle everything from W-2s to self-employed forms and work to get you every single deduction. You can upload your documents, go about your day, and get updates right in the TurboTax app. It's a huge time saver and gives you real peace of mind knowing an expert is handling it. For a limited time, you can have your taxes done by a local TurboTax expert for just $150 all in if a TurboTax expert didn't file for you last year. Just file by February 28th. Take taxes off your plate and get back to your life. Visit turbotax.com/local to book your appointment today. And it's, at the Big Ten level, full Division I, FBS level, it is different. But you're right that Penn State, does embody that. There is a different feel to it at that point, and you have to fit into that culture. And Hunter, I've seen you play before. I've called some of your games over radio broadcasts when you were at Hollidaysburg High School. So I know, I've seen it in person. I know who you are as a football player, and I imagine that you've gotten better and you've progressed, of course. But seeing the foundation of who you are and how you carry yourself on the football field. Curious for the fans, they're going to want to know more about you. How would you describe yourself as a football player, as a person, how you carry yourself going forward as a Penn State football player?
I'd say as a player, just finisher, trying to always finish plays, go past the whistle, like make extra holes or cuts for the back, everything, just absolutely giving them as much effort as I can, whether that be workouts, conditioning, nutrition, sleep, recovery, academics. I try to give the absolute effort, finish everything. That's always that's what's been instilled in me since a young age is no matter what, don't let anyone outwork you. And I feel like that also, me being a PWO here, that also helps and kind of boosts that and plays into it. Because obviously you need to have that mentality as a PWO. You need to have that mentality. I feel like having that from a young age is one of the biggest things that'll help me throughout this process in my career here. But I'd say from a personal side, probably just very personal, talkable. I'm a people person. I can talk to anyone. I can make friends with anyone. Very open-minded, just kind of whatever. Nothing really bothers me. Kind of keep to myself usually. Love my family, love my friends. But just pretty laid back outside of sports. Don't really get into much, kind of just do my own thing.
What does it mean to be one of those representatives of the local area? Of course, D'Antae Sheffey, for example, is coming to Penn State.
He actually lives in my apartment with me.
So he's
literally next door to me. I could walk out and go grab him right now if I really wanted to.
And that's what I want to address is having the ability to represent Hollidaysburg, having the ability to represent Central Pennsylvania as a whole, being the local kid, the local guy, the hometown hero, so to speak. The pressure that comes with that, the expectations that might come with that as well, but the privilege of it, right? I think pressure. You would agree with me that pressure is a privilege. So having that opportunity to say, hey, I get to represent my hometown. I get to represent Hollidaysburg area high school and potentially build a bridge where Matt Campbell and Ryan Clanton are going to want to continue to scout and coach, and because I get to carry those values that I had back in high school. What does that mean to you?
I mean, it's like you said about pressure, like that's one thing for me. I try not to feed into that like kind of like popularity or like the popularity aspect of all of it, like being a hometown hero, like me being like playing for Penn State, having myself be a bigger name. Like I try not to think about that stuff because obviously, pressure is a privilege. Don't get me wrong; it's such a blessing to have pressure from that aspect. Like I never thought I'd be able to experience that in my life. But it's just like if you feed into that, you're going to get caught up in all of it. You're going to waste time. You're going to be unfocused from your goals. It's just like it's one of those things I really try to cut out and not think about. Like it's awesome that people like treat me and think of me that way. It's such a blessing. Don't get me wrong. It's just like why I don't need any unnecessary stress or pressure on me. Then what was the other question?
Just overall, just being able to, I guess, be an ambassador, if you will, as we wrap up here, just being an ambassador for that local connection, Hollidaysburg, because this is an opportunity to kind of prove, so to speak, to be the example for your hometown, for that area that, hey, we should continue to look at Hollidaysburg. We should continue to recruit the neighboring areas because of players like yourself, because and then potentially D'Antae, right? The local connections that these guys need to be recruited to come to Penn State, and you're kind of that current example.
Like you got like the Whippeal, the Philly leagues, all that. Like PA is a football state. Don't get me wrong. But like there's a lot of areas that like Central PA, like PIAA, like we're 5A, like that area is probably the least recruited. Like that was a big thing that like didn't help me a lot because like we play lower competition, but there's still a lot of guys. There's a lot of athletes that are just working and grinding for an opportunity and just get like shadowed by the Whippeal and like all the Philly schools. Like those are great schools, don't get me wrong, but there's so many guys in our area that deserve opportunities like those leagues. And I feel like me, for example, being able to come here, my buddy I played with, Wyatt Maines, who's on our team at JMU now, then like there's so many athletes from Hollidaysburg that are playing college ball or college sports as a whole. Like just because we're playing lower competition doesn't mean we're bad athletes or we're not as good as others. Like we need a fair opportunity to prove ourselves. And I feel like that's something that really needs to be changed in our area. And one thing I want to hopefully like be an ambassador for and help change. And what I want to get into like later in life, I want to help like recruiting in our area. Like I said, getting into personal training and strength and conditioning. I want to do like a local kind of thing, help train athletes, use my connections from my playing time and my recruitment from high school and in the portal to help these young guys get out and make a name for themselves like I was able to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, Hunter Albright, transfer offensive lineman, now a Penn State Nittany Lion as a preferred walk-on, but has 4 more years of eligibility. That is where we're going to wrap up this interview. Appreciate each and every one of you for checking out this show. Let us know your thoughts down in the comments section. And links to Hunter's socials will be down in the description so you can check him out. Hunter, thank you so much for the time. Really appreciate the perspective. And of course, best of luck to you. Best of luck.
Yep,
Thank you. Thank you
me.
for the time today.
Yep, thank you.